Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would touch base with the Gabby Petito things and the timeline and things that are being posted in various places and what's going on. It really upsets me watching this because my son was murdered at the age of 22, and it really just it's heartbreaking. Anyway, they got into a fight on the 12th, um, one of many, I'm sure. The 911 call says he was slapping her and that he proceeded to hit her. And then the police officer in a video is asking her why she was slapping him. So apparently there was a misunderstanding. Then they were separated, and she had the van and he had a motel. And you're probably thinking what I am thinking. Wish she would have left him then at the motel and just drove away. It's so sad. And Brian, and while he's talking to the police at one point, does he say he does not have a cell phone? Does he have a cell phone? I think I have more questions than answers. And so he stays in a motel. Is it in Moab where those two ladies were murdered between the 13th and the 17th? I think I heard that on the 13th, Brian makes two IG posts from Moab, Utah. I heard the case about the two girls is unrelated, and I think Moab is a very small town with only like around 5,000 people. Usually in towns like that, you know everybody. You know, I've lived in a small town that had around 4,000 people, and somebody would come into the town and ask about you, and you would know. Somebody would sneeze, and by the time they got across town, to somebody else would be like, "Hey, do you have a cold?" You know. So anyway, when Gabby posts, does she use a lot of hashtags? Are her posts brief or long? How is her spelling? Because I heard that people thought that her posts had changed. And so, what are her posts normally like? Did they change? I mean, you'd have to go through and look. And if they change, does that mean he's with her and using her phone, or is he not with her and he's got her phone? Okay, so, and then it says on the 17th, Brian may have gone to Florida to move her things out, and then returned on the 23rd. But did he actually go to Florida? Because I heard somewhere else that there was no proof that he had gone to Florida and came back. So I don't know if he actually, why would he go all the way to Florida and then come back to move her things out? I don't understand that. Does that mean that they rented a separate storage unit to put her things in? Did that even really happen? Anyway, on the 18th, the couple, I don't want to pronounce their names wrong, but I don't know if it's Kylen or and Crystal. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing her name right, but they were found shot at their campsite, and they were last seen alive on the 13th. And their last texts say they were being stalked by a strange man, and if they wind up dead, that they are murdered. So they were afraid. It is said not to be linked, but has an arrest been made? I mean, how do they know it's not linked if they haven't arrested anybody? The one girl is 24. I don't see the age of Crystal Turner. They were last seen leaving Woody's Tavern in Moab on August 13th. Their partially dressed bodies were discovered by a friend with multiple gunshot wounds on the 18th of August near their campsite in La Salle Mountains near Moab. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either. The 911 call for Brian hitting Gabby was allegedly seen outside of the Moab Grocery Co-op where the 24-year-old lady worked. Is that a coincidence? Was she working then? Had they spoken? Could they have met in the grocery store or at a campsite or even at a local place while Brian stayed the night in a motel? Does Gabby check out of the hotel, the Fairfoot Inn Suites, on the 24th or the 25th? Because I see in both dates and I'm not sure which. And I'm uncertain how many days she actually stayed there. I heard that Brian flew back to Florida, but I'm also hearing that it is not confirmed or proven. Did Brian go to Florida? Um, and I don't really understand why. I mean, if he had gone to Florida, I wish, you always want to go back in time and change things, because it really doesn't feel like there's any justice unless she's okay. And so on August 25th, Gabby FaceTimes her mother from Grand Teton. A lady claims they were in Victor, Idaho on either the 25th or the 26th, I think at her store or something. Um, so we have August 25th, she posts Happy Halloween, her final post. Her last phone call to the family says she's in Grand Teton National Park on the 25th. Her last Instagram post was on the 26th. Oh, and it was, maybe that's a Happy Halloween one. I'm not sure now if it was the 26th or the 25th, but it says it was posted from the Monarch, which is at 455 25th Street from Ogden, Utah. The photos were taken from a parking lot not far from the hotel that she stayed in until the 24th or the 25th. So she could have taken the picture before she posted it and posted it on a later day. And I don't know which Fairfield Inn and Suite she stayed at, because there is one at the airport and maybe two other nearby. I have been to Ogden, Utah, and it is a fun place, and I really did love it, and the people there. There was a man who said he came out of the West Gate on August 26th or 27th, and he was in Bullwinkle's at the bar around 10 p.m. and saw and spoke to someone named Brian alone, and he thought it was Brian because of the way he acted and the way he looked and the things that he said. So you can find that on YouTube videos, but it may not have been him, but it might have. Her mother received a text message, but thinks they may not have been from Gabby on the 26th and the 27th. When you're upset and afraid, it's. So was he texting using her phone, or was she the one that texted at that point? Someone says her mom had thought the van left the night of the 27th or the 28th in the morning and was in Florida on the 1st and was traveling there. But I have no idea. I don't know if there was a GPS tracking on the van or if that's just a rumor. Someone also mentioned that they may have had a drone camera and that the drone cameras might have GPS tracking so that they could tell where they were when the drone cameras were being used, if they used it. Her van is seen parked on the 27th on the side of the road. There's a video of the van on the 27th, about 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. One or two of her flip-flops are on the ground outside, facing the back right side of the door, which is nearest to the road. I have seen her shoes facing away from the van on the outside of the other door in a video near a tent. So I don't know. It seems if she's OCD, she would probably have her shoes outside of the same door facing the same direction, but I don't know. It seems to me like with the doors closed and the shoes right there that it's possible. It seems like she'd pick them up and put them in the van because she'd be afraid they'd drive off and forget them, but I'm not positive. She might have put them there. And is she in the van at that time, or is he in the van alone? We don't know. We're all wondering if she's okay at this point, and if she's in the van, or if he's just in the van, or is she alive at that point? She seemed terrified that he was just going to take her van and leave her in a dangerous situation. And it seemed like maybe he had done it before, and I wonder if he had done it before. And how many times had he hit her in the past? They lived with his parents. Did his parents know that he was hitting her and not ever report it? When he came home alone, why didn't his parents call her parents and call the police? Why didn't his parents take him and go look for her? why did he have a lawyer so fast? If she had come back alone in her van without him, would they have reacted differently? Would they have raced out to go look for him and called the police and said, "Where is my son?" Anyway, on August 27th, there was a message sent to Gabby's mother that included the words, "Can you help Stan?" referring to apparently Gabby's grandfather, and they're saying that she never referred to her grandfather as Stan. And I don't know what kind of device the message was sent from, but who was messaging her mother on August 27th? And on August 29th, a woman claims that she gave Brian a ride from the Grand Teton, and she picked him up at 5:54 in the Coulter Bay area to take him because he wanted to get back to his wife, fiance, and she dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. at Jackson Dam. And it seemed like he was further away from where the van was seen, going back towards the van, if it was even him. And she said he stated that he had been hiking for several days alone along Snake River. And if, like I said, getting dropped off at the dam would have put him in the direction going towards the van. And was he going away from the van and hiking and then wanting, and she mentioned that he wanted to go to Jackson, and she was going to Jackson, but he wanted to get dropped off at the dam. So that, I don't know. August 29th, Gabby is supposed to text and meet her best friend in Yellowstone, but she never does. And I wish somebody would have reported her missing then. Brian allegedly is already almost halfway back to Florida driving Gabby's van. I mean, is he halfway back to Florida, or did he run into that woman and get a ride from her? He said he was going to Jackson to that lady, even though they were going to Jackson, and he didn't even want to ride with them all the way there. And he had offered them $200 for a ride to get to the dam. And did they say they had picked him up near Showers? Was it him? I mean, what was he doing if it was him? And I think they mentioned a tarp. I mean, why would he need a tarp? I think he said he was wrapping up or sleeping on a tarp or something. I don't know. August 30th, a text is sent to her mother from her phone saying there's no service in Yosemite. I mean, at this point, is her phone traveling without her? Does she not have her phone? Did she ever even get to see Yosemite? I mean, if she's not alive anymore, she'll never get to have children. She'll never get to see the world like she wanted to. There's so many things that she won't get to do. That, it's like she's been cheated, robbed. It's very sad if you think about all the things that she will never get to do because she was so young. I heard mention of some device that had not been turned on since September 1st. I'm not sure which device was turned off. I don't know if it was her phone or what it was. Someone stated that there were new stickers put on the back of her van as he traveled alone on the way to Florida. Why? Why were the stickers in the van and he put them on there? Why did he put more stickers on her van? Were they put there to cover something up? I mean, I'm hoping that they check those things. September 17th, allegedly the neighbors took a photo of a man who is either barefoot or wearing like light brown tan, like skin tonish colored shoes, and wearing dark baggy pants. I can't tell if there's a stripe running on the side of him or not. He's got a gray shirt and sunglasses, and he's bald. And I mean, I think the picture said a number out of 6, so they may have taken several pictures. And was that him? And it says something about him walking down Ulster or something like that, and leaving from the back of his property. So did he go somewhere else in that area? Some friends and neighbors? I mean, where did he disappear to? Um, this is on the 17th. Wasn't he reported missing on the 14th? Are they still searching? I mean, is he at somebody's house? Was that Brian in the photo, or maybe it wasn't even Brian? Maybe it was just another neighbor that looked like him. Did anybody check? When did they start the search in the swamps for Brian? The police go into the Mustang, and they appear to not be wearing gloves. And it appears that they grabbed something out, maybe a phone, and put it into a pocket, not into a bag. And I really wish they had been wearing gloves, because what if there's any kind of DNA evidence on the phone if he did something? And did Brian have a gun? Because you would think with her and him traveling and going places that's dangerous like that and being alone, did they have a gun? I mean, and if they did, where was it? And did his parents own a gun? Did they take a gun? Um, there are rumors that the band was back at the parents' house on the 31st, but other rumors say that he wasn't there till the 11th, and I've also heard the 4th or the 5th, and they say that he got pulled over in the van in Florida alone. So I don't understand if that was the 1st or the 5th. And the other couple, those two women that were found in Moab, if it's not related, I don't, have they made an arrest? I feel like, what kind of person is hiding him out and helping him? Because where's he going to get money for food? How's he going to get food? He can't really go into a store. So, is he at a neighbor's house or a relative's house? Is he just hiding out? Who would do that? Who would do that? And I really, some people think that maybe he's innocent, but if he was innocent, would he have just left her and taken her van and gone back to his house and not hunted for her and not looked for her and not called 911 and all these other things? It doesn't make sense, and it's so sad. And like I said, it's really upsetting for everybody, even though we're not related to her and we don't know her personally. She's so young and she was so beautiful and she had her whole life ahead of her. And you can't help but compare it to the loved ones that you've lost, and you can't help but feel so heartbroken that this has happened. And it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right. Anyway, God bless you. Feel free to leave comments. It is really just so heartbreaking. And thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.